to watch because you know he'd dig in and give you some blazing fractions.
All right, and then for you folks who like what I call the hoppers, the best steeplechase, Lonesome Glory.
That was an interesting race this year because a horse that had been the Eclipse Award winner a number of years ago, Highland Bud, was back in the picture. Lonesome Glory won the voting for the Eclipse Award in a very, very close contest, owned by Mrs. Jeffords of Maryland, a woman that's put a lot of time and money into the industry and well deserving of the award.
Now, I don't know if this is a Salmon's Eclipse Award, but trainer with own TV show.
I voted for you. I mean, you got my vote.
Okay, you know. All right, that was the Eclipse Awards. Before I go to Tony Black, who's in the Jocks Room at Garden State Park, let me remind you folks out there that for you who are looking for a Let's Talk Golf, tune in at 8 o'clock. We have to talk about horse racing tonight. We kind of did that. We kind of brought Let's Talk Golf, probably the #1 rated show here at Salmon's. Now you're going to have to put up with Les and yours truly here for the next hour on horse racing. Stay tuned. You'll like it. As they said in the back room, we have handicap, not the handicap that you want to have. I do have a trivia question I want to send out to you for you folks who want to get involved with tonight. It's worth a nice tote bag from Garden State Park and Trump went together. The trivia question, the first trivia question, and it has to do with the Eclipse Awards. Give me the horse that won the Caesars International last summer at Atlantic City Racecourse and is an Eclipse Award winner. If you know the answer, give us a call here and qualify for this nice tote bag that we have here at the Salmon's Communications. And the first trivia question, we have two. We have a Philadelphia Park cap that we'll give away. We'll be giving away 2 prizes each week. Right now, I'd like to bring Tony Black to the conference line here. Tony Black, the all-time leading rider at Philadelphia Park. He was the leading rider at Atlantic City Racecourse. He was currently the leading rider at Philadelphia Park, and he's doing double duty right now between Atlantic City, Philadelphia, and at Garden State Park. And Tony.
Hi, JJ.
How you doing, buddy?
Real good. How are you?
All right. Tony, I have a couple of questions for you. I've received some mail, and we were talking about jockeys that can control the front end of a horse race, a speed rider, and I don't think there's probably a better jockey on the front end than you are. Tony, what's the trick to keeping a horse going further on the front end?
I think that some of the trick of that is keep your horse going further is to make the horses around you go. The horses that are behind you run further. When you're on the front end, you can kind of intimidate the horses behind you by making them, if they do come around you, making them come way around you, or if they're trying to get through on you, try to tighten it up, and horses sometimes behind you become intimidated when you do tighten up the rail or put him up against the rail. So it'll make your horse seem like he's running further just because you're impeding the horses behind you, but doing it within the boundaries and guidelines and rules of racing.
Tony, without having a clock in your head and not being able to judge pace, it has to be a little difficult to try and take one coast to coast or wire to wire.
Yeah, you know, judging the pace is really a big deal. It's very important when you're on the front end. Of course, you want to be reserving your horse and slowing it down as much as possible. I think slowing the pace down as much as possible and kind of making the horses behind you wonder what you're doing, whether they should go around you or through on you, is probably the biggest part of making a horse run his best on the front end.
So if you had your druthers, would you rather have a front end horse or one that came from out of it?
Well, you get in less trouble when there's nothing in front of you. So I like the front end horses.
You can't beat what you can't catch.
That's it. You and I have done that enough times.
Yeah, it seems that I've always had a liking for horses that have speed. And matter of fact, in the second race tonight, you're going to ride one of my horses called Desert Rex. It seems that when he gets an easy lead, he can carry his speed wire to wire. But you know, tonight, Tony, there's about 2 or 3 in there that have as much speed as he does.
Yeah, he's kind of a versatile horse. I guess, you know, I don't know, the intentions of leaving there are real good. It's going to be important to leave there real good and possibly outrun 1 or 2 of the other speed horses in there. But he is versatile. If he isn't absolutely on the lead, he'll probably be laying awfully close to it.
Tony, I bet you it's not often that you've received some riding instructions on TV.
Nah, not too often.
That's the first time. Tony, you know, I have some some footage where there's some thrill of victory and some agony of defeats. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe it was a month or 5 weeks ago, you took a spill on a horse. And one thing that we want to talk about, and Les and I talked to you before on the radio, is about the equipment, the safety equipment that jocks have available to them. And it isn't much more than a hard hat, and recently now they introduced a flak jacket.
Yeah, I just started using the flak jacket. I think, well, I was very fortunate that day that horse broke his leg with me, because we also at Philadelphia Park and at Garden State have the new Fontana safety rails. And that I think saved me as much injury as the helmet. That day I didn't have a flak jacket, but after that spill it convinced me to invest in a flak jacket and try to get used to riding in one.
Tony, right now we're showing the video. The horse hits the rail. You bounce off the rail like a sack of potatoes. You'll fall down there. It's just incredible to me that you didn't sustain any more than a bruise. I think, what was it, on your leg or on your shoulder?
Yeah, I had a bruised knee and a couple little scrapes. I think, as I say again, I think the safety rail was a big factor in saving me from many severe injuries. I think luck is also playing into it. You're very fortunate as a rider when you have a horse snap it off like that horse did and you walk away from it. I was very fortunate that day. These flak jackets, I think that anything a boy can wear, a rider can wear to help eliminate or alleviate any injury is something that should be mandatory. And eventually these flak jackets that they came out with are going to be mandatory.
At this point, they're not mandatory. Are they comfortable? I mean, I don't see you use it a lot, Tony, and I ride you on a lot of horses. And after you see a spill like you took there, I know that you like the freedom to be loose, to be able to switch sticks and hit a horse. Again, I guess you got to make yourself get used to the flak jacket.
Yeah, it's just another piece of equipment that